Hello, this is Sal. Today in this video, we'll be talking about NAT and PAT with overload. Here, I want to explain something, take a few moments to explain something. When you configure NAT and PAT, when you are on the router working on doing the configuration. So for us here with the configuration I'm going to be doing here, a few scenarios, this is inside local. This is our local area, our local domain or network, and this is inside in our local. And this is still inside but global. Like you own a house, nobody can see what's inside the house. And you have around the house, you have the fence, you have the gate, you have the garden. This is your still inside your property, but it is globally. This is what people can see. When people want to come inside your house, they cannot see anything inside your house. They need to go through the gate or the front gate or through your garden and until they reach to inside your house. So this is inside local, this network, and this is still inside global. We own, our company own everything here. All of these network devices owned by our company. Even this public IP address, it is not for the public. It's owned by us. We purchased it from the ISP. So when we use it, we want to translate our private IP addresses for our users in the network. We use them. We are the one who configured them. We are the one who are telling the world or anybody in the internet, if you want to reach our Cisco server, use this IP address, because you cannot use the private IP address because the private IP addresses are not routable. So in order to route traffic between us and you, come through the front door or the gate through this public IP address. And that's why, again, I'll say this is inside local and this is inside global. This is inside still our property, our router, our IP, public IP address, but global. This is how we talk to the world, how we talk to the internet or go in the internet. As for the other side here, this is outside, but this is local. This is to us here, this is outside, and it is local in this internet. And this is still outside, but they're outside global. This is through here, through these IP addresses, this is how they talk also to the world. I hope I explained it, but I'll go over it even more when I configure NAT. So on router 3, enable configure terminal. I will want to give it a name, router 3 here. Okay. Now we want to configure a static NAT for one private IP address inside, and this is the IP address we want to configure, which is a Cisco router. And we own a few public IP addresses, so we will use for the Cisco router this public IP address of 8.8.2.5. So now I will start configuring static NAT. Now interface gig 000 IP NAT question mark. This is inside our local inside, and interface as 0/11 IP NAT outside interface. But outside interface, but it is still inside global. We own it. Exit here. Now IP NAT inside, we want to NAT inside address, inside the source. What is the source? It's a static, because we are configuring static NAT, static for this IP address of 172.16.1.10, and here is saying inside local IP address, inside local, which is 172.16.1.10, And here it went inside the global. So here, even from Cisco, they are explaining it. And, and we want to use the IP address of 8.8.2.5. And that's it for the command. Now, for anybody outside in the internet want to communicate or reach the Cisco server or our server here or this server here, they will not try to reach it through or via the private IP address. They don't know about the IP address. They know only about our public IP address. So let's say PC1 here, this guy, he wants to surf or reach the Cisco server, and here he will not have the IP address. He will have only the 8.8.2.5. Enter, and he was able to. Now let's go back to the server, and here let's run this show command. Exit, show IP NAT Translation, and here is telling us our inside global IP address, which is 8.8.2.5, which we own, this guy here. And it translates the inside local, which is 172.16.1.10, the server, to outside global because we pinged it through this IP address PC1. I hope this was, I explained it all. Now, we have these two PCs here, or actually any computer will be on within this network of 172.16.1.0. They want their IP addresses to be translated, or they want to get out, to go to the internet. Now I'll configure PAT or NAT with overload. Now let's on the router configure a standard access list. Configure terminal access list. It's a standard, one. I'm here, by the way, explaining just the basics for NAT and PAT. There will be other videos with a little bit complicated networks, so we can configure a standard and extended access list, and with permit and deny. But now this is just for the basics. Anyway, access list one, we want to permit. What do we want to permit? It's not a host, just one PC. We want to permit the whole network, anybody connected to the network of 172.16.1.0/24. So we will go with 172.16.1.0. And here it wants the wildcard or the inverse subnet mask of 24 of 0.0.0.255. And that's it. And it's enough for the command. Now, we want to configure NAT. So we say IP NAT inside, because we NATed inside the source. What was the source now? It is a list, the access list we configured for the network, and it was access list one. And we wanted to interface for the global address. What will be the global address? We will go just with the 8.8.2.2. And on serial 0/1 and so we are done with it. So let's ping from PCB here, PC2. Go to desktop, ping 192.168.1.4. And he was able to reach it. And let's send a big ping again. And again, PCB here was able to reach PC2. And let's go again to run this show command, show IP NAT Translation. And it's showing us here that we sent an ICMP ping from this PC, our PC on 172.16.1.3, and it was our local IP address. And on port 1, it went through the inside the global public IP address of 8.8.2 on port 1, and it went and we pinged, as you saw, we pinged PC2 with 192.168.1.4. Now, let us work on dynamic NAT. We will choose a pool of addresses to be translated. So the company owns so many public IP addresses, and we will be working on this side on router 1, and wants to put them for its users to use them when going to the internet. Let's configure an access list first, and we have the range of 8.8.1.2 up to 8.8.1.5. So on router 1 here, we will do what we did with on router 1 first. Enable here, configure terminal. Now interface 000. Now we will put this aside, and this will be our inside local, this guy here, and this will be our inside but global for router 1, and we want to communicate this network here, so this will be outside local, and this is their outside global. And we on router 3, so internet gig 000 here, it will be IP NAT inside interface serial 0.1/0. This interface here, it will be IP NAT outside. Now, let's create the exit here. Create the access list to permit this network. Any device will be connected to this network within 192.168.1.0 to use this range of public IP address of 8.8.1.2 till 5 or maybe 20 public IP addresses, but we will create a pool and we want to create it dynamic. So now let's create the access list. Let's give it number 10. Now we want to permit what? And what network? The network of 192.168.1.0. Anybody within this network, in this network here of 192.168.1.0. This is what we want to permit, and the wildcard of 0.0.0.255. So now we are done with the access list. Now let's configure NAT. I configured inside and outside. So now let us configure a NAT pool for the public IP address which are owned by our company. Now, IP NAT pool. And let's give it the name of PC. And the starting IP address of 8.8.1.2. And the end IP address of 8.8.1.5. And here is telling us what is the network or net mask. And it is 255.255.255.0. Now let's configure NAT, IP NAT. Inside the source, what is our source here? It was a list, and the list the access list we gave it number 10, and it was a pool of addresses. We called it PC and overload. That's it. Exit. So now let's see if router, PC3 here, this guy here, want to access the Cisco server. But for the Cisco server, its public IP address, as you saw earlier, it was this IP address of 8. This is the public IP address for the server is 8.8.2.5. So we'll go here and on 8.8.2.5, and we were able to. And now if we go to router 1 and run this command, show IP NAT Translation, and it's showing us we went to the server. The protocol is TCP, and our inside global IP address was this IP address of 8.8.1.2, and the inside local we went to connect it to the server using this IP address of 8.192.168.1.5 on this port, and our outside local we connected to the server via this IP address here, 8.8.2.5, and then it went to the server. And I hope this video was informative and helpful, and please, if you like it, just subscribe to my channel, and I'll be seeing you soon with another video. Have a nice day.